Hello, North Pole. Hope you're ready to do some drawing today. Today, I am going to draw a bowl and a lamp in Onshape. And for your guys' assignment, you're going to draw a donut and the Holy Grail. So let's go ahead, get started. Create a new document in Onshape. One thing that's really helpful to know is how a ceramic bowl is made. They put it on a big wheel, and the wheel spins, and they sit and they mold the clay around the very center of that wheel that is spinning, and they pinch and they drag and pinch and drag and pull the clay up into its form to create the bowl. And it turns out we can do something similar. We can spin on a wheel, so to speak, with this program to create a solid. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a sketch on the front plane. I'm going to talk about some strategy for this first. If I want to draw this bowl, we can't use extrude. Extrude creates like something that's long and it extends out. If with the lamp, we might be able to extrude something right here. But what we're going to do is, really, it's the same shape. It's the shape of the person who's molding the clay on that spinning wheel. They're sitting there molding it as it spins, and they put their fingers in there and they pinch and then they pull to create the shape of that bowl. So what we're going to be drawing is we're going to be drawing the thing the shape that person is kind of pinching up to create the bowl. So that's what we're going to draw, and then we're going to take that shape and we're going to spin it. And we're going to spin it around kind of upon itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a sketch on the front plane. Hide. 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 Nice and fast. Boy, howdy. We got a little bit of a lag going here. All right, so let's go and let's begin drawing. Sorry, I'm a teacher. Come on, Slaggle, what are you doing? Okay, so my bowl first, I'm just drawing really where that person was pinching, and I'm not really drawing anything else. So I'm just gonna kind of do a rough little sketch there. Come up here. We'll come out maybe 1.5 inches or something in this direction. It's probably good enough. And then come up just a smidge, just like that, to create that bottom edge of my bowl. What I'm drawing right now is kind of half of this little bottom edge, because that's one part of where someone would be spinning there. Okay. Right now, when I'm going to be drawing, go like this, and we're going to create the bowl's thickness. The tool I'm using right now is called a spline. It's lots of fun. Press escape. Okay, we've got this nice, if you want to change the shape, so spline is right here. It allows you to draw a kind of a curve, and you can change these are called kind of, I guess, inflection points, but this is kind of a little points where we can kind of bend and control. The white points help control that bend, but we want a nice, smooth looking bowl shape, and that looks pretty good. We now have to use the line tool to create the thickness of our bowl, so I'm going to come out and give it a little thickness, and then the last line that we're going to draw is another spline that's going to be coming down. And I may have to fix, so that one, it looks like we've got a solid. It doesn't look like it's kind of equal width throughout the whole bowl though, so I'm going to go through and maybe pinch that together a little bit and try and get that looking a little more professional. It looks like about equal with me. Might get a little swoopty in there, make it look fancy. Looks great. Okay, so we've got the center of our bowl. I'm gonna actually drag this down a little bit so it's kind of flat at the center. Okay, so we've got kind of this cross section where someone would be carving while it's spinning. So while the clay is spinning, someone's hand is going to be kind of molding this shape. So now that we've got that shape, notice that it has, in order for this new tool to work, it has to be grayed out like this. So I'm going to look at it from an angle, and instead, you know, if we use extrude here and I click on this shape, watch what happens. We get this solid, it extends out. That's not going to create the bowl. That's not going to work. It creates this really awkward, long, almost like a ramp. That's not what I'm looking for. We're going to use this tool called Revolve. What Revolve does is it takes this thing and it spins it. It's going to spin it around the axis. So the first thing it asks, it says, hey, what do you want to be spinning? What do you want to use to help create the solid? Okay, so we have selected this shape, and then we select the axis around which we would like to spin it. And it turns out you can select all sorts of lines to be the axis, but the one we want is the center of the bowl, which is right here. Now when I click that line, it generates this absolutely stunning looking bowl that we can all be proud of, and we can eat our popcorn out of while we're watching definitely not rom-coms on the weekend. Perfect. Look at that bowl. Absolutely fantastic. Now notice if I delete that axis of revolution and say select another one, like this one, oh dear, we've created this horn shape, and so like I selected the correct one first to show you what the bowl should like, but you can really create almost any shape that you want with this revolve and choosing the correct axis. And if you select up here with the revolve axis, you get almost looks like a toque, like a hat. Okay. So, but you get a different shape depending on what you select. It's being spun around that axis, and the program's probably doing lots of calculus. Okay, there it is in all of its glory. Look at that. Amazing, amazing shape. Okay. One quick note, I'm going to actually deselect the axis. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to go into my sketch, and it turns out you can also, it's important to note that you can also, for this drawing, you can draw an axis of rotation that is not connected to your object. So for example, if I finish sketch and I've got this random line drawn, and then I go into the revolution, I revolve, it says select this, now select your axis of rotation. If I spin it around this axis, I still creates a bowl. The problem is, now our bowl has a hole in it, because there was a gap between our object and the axis around which we were spinning. So we don't want a hole in our bowl. So we're going to select this axis instead to do our final drawing. I'm deliberately making mistakes so you can see some issues you might run into, but also because you need to know that because one of your drawings, you know, necessitates that. That drawing being the donut. The donut has a hole, so to create this hole you need to move your axis of rotation away from your object. Okay, great. So we've done our hole. Our bowl, and it's looking pretty snazzy. And we could plug this into the 3D printer and just go to town. You know, that is an option. All right, so let's go ahead and do the lamp next. If you don't mind, we're gonna jump in there and we're gonna do the lamp next. So I'm gonna go to the Onshape home. We'll create a new document. Try and do some more stuff that's gonna melt my computer. Thanks, school district, for the nice computer. I think that my processor is like about to punch its last ticket. All right, so here we go. We're going to draw on the front face again, and I'm going to hide all these planes. See you later. Good night. Okay, and then let's go back to this and take a look. What does this lamp look like? I'm going to zoom away in, and I'm just going to draw pretty fast so you can see what's going on here. But let's take a gander. All right, this lamp has got like a flat bottom. It's got a flat bottom here, comes up and around, and it's got a straight shot there. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and continue here. Sorry, a little phone call there. We're going to come out this direction, and we're going to kind of create this little swoop D and a little bump and a swoop. We're going to draw the lamp. All right, so I'm going to start with my line tool, and I'm going to come out. I would say the height of my lamp is maybe like 16 inches or something, so make that pretty tall, and press the front view, get that zoom to fit option, and I think I still need to zoom out even a little bit more for everything to appear on here correctly. So maybe 16 inches or something like that, and then we'll come out with the base, I don't know, maybe 3.5. Drag my dimensions, and if you look at the image on there, it looks like it's kind of rounded. So I'm going to use a new tool we've not used before, and that tool is, minimize my other window here. The tool that I'm going to use here is the arc tool. So I'm going to come in, and you're going to use this 3-point arc. I guess so. You draw the first point, you draw the end point, and then you kind of shape it the way that you want. So the lamp looks something like that. You can drag the third point, grab my line tool, I'll put a little edge on there, and then switch back to the arc tool, which I think the command is A, and we're going to create yet another swoop D for the thickness of our lamp. And you can pull that in and out, but I would say it looks something like that. That's pretty good. Okay, great. Now we might even be able to apply a fillet to that edge to make it a little rounded. I think that is an option. I wonder if we can just click the point. Yeah, look at that. Make a nice little rounded edge there for our lamp. Click, and that's going to look really solid. Okay, so we've got our lamp here, and we've got our lamp post. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of I'm going to create my light bulb. So I'm going to come up here, and normally you wouldn't draw a light bulb in this drawing if you were actually drawing the object, but that's okay. And let's make sure we get our proportions right. So I'm going to zoom out a bit, and when I draw my light bulb, you know, we kind of know what that should look like. I actually want it to be, I think, start down here, come up, and connect at the end. So there's our light bulb in all its glory. I'm going to come in, and we're going to use the arc tool to connect the base of the light bulb to kind of where it is going to screw into the port. So a nice little rounded section there. And then I'll come in. Now notice, remember, I'm drawing half of my drawing. So if you have a section of a line between two endpoints, like between two line intersections that you want to get rid of, you can use this tool, Trim. You can come in and snip those lines away. Now I want this to be one kind of solid figure, so I'm going to be snipping the lines away that I don't want. So there's kind of the edge of my light bulb, and then that's probably screwing into like a square-ish port. So I'll come down like so, and maybe come out this direction just a smidge, like that. Okay, and come down, put the edge. It's looking pretty good. All right, I think we got a good looking lamp coming along here. All right, so next, coming down, I'm gonna do my arc. Well, first I wanna know where the thickness of this line is so I can connect to it. So I'm gonna do a construction line, or rather I'll just do a regular line, and we can use the trim tool. And that to me, honestly, the stem is looking a little thick there, so I might drag this point in a little bit further. Grab my line tool. I'm going to come up like so, vertical as far as I can, and then grab my arc tool and come down and connect right here. So that created a solid shape, you'll notice. And if we use trim, we can come in and kind of the scissors, you can kind of clip off those little extra pieces that we don't need. Great, we've got this solid shape, but I did forget something. Let's take a look. It's got these little bumpies, these tiny little bumps and ridges, and I kind of want to show a cool little technique for creating something like that. So to create bumps or ridges on a lamp, what you can do is I'll zoom in here a little bit, some scale, drag this up so we can see what we're doing. If you want to create those bumps or ridges, a cool little trick to do that is you can use the arc tool, click on your line, and then click up here, and then kind of pull that little bump out. And then down here do the same thing. So that's creating a shape on a closed figure on our graph, and it looks like there's one at the top as well. So I'll zoom out here and we'll put some bumps up at the top too. I'm not really paying attention to size here, but that's okay. Put a bump there and a little bump there. Okay, and so in here, come through and we can now grab, so if we try to spin this thing and revolve it, these bumps aren't going to be on it. You got to make sure you come through and trim away these lines so that they become part of this other figure. We now have one solid that we're rotating. Zoom out, come on down. Okay, and the only thing that is left for our drawing is the lampshade. So I'm going to grab my line tool. I'm going to put the kind of the top of the lampshade. Maybe it should be like right there. And then grab my line tool, come down here and put the bottom of my lampshade right down there. And those are we'll probably use the Spline Tool to connect those. Come down here like this, create my swoopty. Press escape. What's the hotkey? There's no hotkey for spline. It's unfortunate. So we'll come down like that, put the point, and we can always drag and relocate if we need to. Lampshade's looking a little bit thick, so I may need to kind of narrow that up a little bit. That's okay. It's whatever. It's looking fine for me. All right, so we finished our sketch. Got our figure drawn. Let's go ahead and zoom to fit so we can see that. And then we're going to now revolve. So we'll grab the Revolve tool. We're going to click the sketches or the regions that we want to select. I'm going to be clicking 2. You can select multiple, and you say, where do you want to revolve these? The axis of revolution. I want to spin around the center. And we get a beautiful lamp around which, oh, my light bulb got rotated. We're good. We can see our sketch. We get this beautiful lamp that we'd see at basically every Motel 6 in the country. Look at that. Oh man, nice looking lamp and table. Good stuff. So that's it. I hope you liked the video today. I'd like to quickly recap the tools that we went over. We learned the Spline tool. We learned the Revolve tool. We learned the Trim tool to get rid of any little excess lines that we don't want that go past an intersection. And we also learned the Arc tool. So I hope that was helpful, and yeah, we'll see you next time.